Okay, so I have a question for some ReZero fans who are really, really well educated on the subject. Why does Reinhardt exist? He's just an overpowered character, and I've always found it strange that Subaru didn't just give Reinhardt a two-way mirror so that he could contact him at any time. And it's my understanding that he has the divine blessing of being able to move at any speed he wants. So I mean, at any speed, essentially he could move faster than the speed of light. If am I correct? Am I incorrect about this? Regardless, for the white whale hunt, why did he not ask for Reinhardt's help or talk to Felt? And since Felt owed Subaru a favor for saving his life, although Felt later saved his life, they were on good terms, and he could have talked to Felt and asked for her to also join in the subjugation of the white whale. And of course, Subaru would had to have asked the sword saint to just stand there to help save people's lives, so that his grandfather, um, the previous sword saint, um, William Van Astria, could go ahead and kill the white whale so as to avenge his wife. But he could have called on Reinhardt for Betelgeuse, and he could immediately showed up and just killed Betelgeuse without any casualties, and the same with the white whale. Even if Reinhardt chose not to slay the white whale so that his grandfather could deliver the final blow, um, he could still have saved like countless lives. And then with all future encounters, also like with the mansion, he could have sent he could use a two-way mirror to contact Reinhardt and say, hey, um, Elsa and this young girl who is also extremely OP is trying to kill everyone at the mansion, and I would be in your debt if you could please save their lives. Or members of, you know, a group that kills innocent people all the time, and as a knight of Lagunica, uh, I would hope that you would feel a duty to save innocent lives, as is, your code of chivalry. If you can do so, why not? And in future encounters, there are so many times where if Subaru had simply given Reinhardt a two-way mirror, he could contact him. Reinhardt could show up in a flash, be there in a moment's notice, and just basically teleport there, kill all of Subaru's opponents, and there'd be no conflict in the show. So, I mean, the excuses I've seen have been pretty weak. Like, well, no one told Reinhardt to do X, Y, or Z, so therefore he didn't do it. Well, yeah, I mean, but Subaru could and should have asked. And also another plot hole I see is Subaru wants to marry. Um, he wants to marry Amelia one day, so that would make him king if she were to become queen, which means he would at least play an advisory role in the ruling of Lagunica. So why does he not seek to obtain a great understanding of the geopolitical nature of the nation, the history of the nation, strategy, study, the equivalent of Sun Tzu's The Art of War in that country. I mean, literally, with Return to Death, he could read libraries and libraries and libraries of information, since he obviously retains knowledge through Return by Death. He could just, use that ability to, read like 20 books, then Return by Death, read 20 books, Return by Death, read 20 books, Return by Death, and had someone lop his head off so it'd be quick and painless, and then become someone who would be vastly more knowledgeable and hopefully more wiser, and wouldn't cause so many blunders, and would actually aid Amelia to eventually serve as a competent king of the country, or at least a competent advisor to Amelia, who would be the true ruler. There's also a problem with Amelia wanting to be the ruler, the queen of Lagunica, because she doesn't know enough about politics, and I know later on, um, in the late novel, she spends a year or two studying politics, but that basically puts you at the level of a sophomore political science major, and it's not sufficient for you to become a ruler. Why should Amelia become the ruler? I mean, um, certainly she's the most benevolent of all the candidates, but as we learn later, there are other candidates in addition to Crush Sama, who, before her memory lapse, who have a much better understanding of how to manage international politics and are actually not terrible people. Like Anastasia is very intelligent with financial matters and actually helps alleviate poverty and is intelligent enough to make the country economically prosperous and also intelligent enough to prevent unnecessary wars between other countries and intelligent enough to make the country respectable again among the geopolitical landscape in which they exist. So why should Amelia be queen when she's obviously completely and utterly unfit for the job? I mean, it's nice that she wants to help the people who were killed by the ice event that she caused, but I mean, that's not enough to qualify you as a ruler. And who does she have as advisors who could make up for her incompetence? Roswell? Well, even if, and this is, I don't want to spoil anything about anime only, even if, like, say, they successfully get Roswell to support Emilia as queen and to end his obsession with the Witch of Envy and to stop following the Book of Wisdom and fucking everything up and actually aid Amelia in her pursuit to do good for the world, um, I don't think he's a very reliable character. And, would he be a very reliable advisor in terms of how to rule the nation? Um, that's not something I would rely on. So why should Amelia be the ruler if there? I mean, there should really be. I think Crush Saman would probably be the best. So if they could make a focus to kill gluttony and see if that returns to memories, she would probably be the best candidate to rule because she's strong, and although she lacks the economic knowledge that Anastasia has to have a flourishing economy, she could bring Anastasia on as like Secretary of Treasury or whatever equivalent they have in the monarchical matriarchal system that they have in Lagunica to be the head of economic matters. Um, and hopefully she could find other advisors to help her. But really, like, what does she bring to the table? Like, she is so innocent and just so not. She isn't even street smart, let alone geopolitical smart, knowing how to engage in diplomacy in such a way as to protect the people of that country. Um, I think Amelia becoming a queen would be a complete disaster because even though she intends well, she could be easily manipulated by her advisors for their own sake and for their own gain. And Subaru not seeking out knowledge and wisdom, even though it's highly available to him if he were to, like I said, use his ability to return by death to, you know, read several libraries worth of books regarding the history, geopolitical landscape, and all sorts of all sorts of other relevant matters like economic policy and criminal justice policy and negotiation techniques and strategies for war, so that strategies for making a strong army, diligent army that can protect the country, all sorts of things he could learn if he were to seek out that knowledge. He passes up on the opportunity, and he also passes up again on the opportunity to give Reinhardt a two-way mirror. Because if he did that, 99% of his problems with opponents would be solved just by using the two-way mirror to say, "Hey, Reinhardt, I'm facing the Witch of whatever. Can you come save me?" So please.